And now to the arts. 31 art pieces show strong elements of design, surprise and satire. That's how the works of Raki, Bashar, an artist who has given over 3 decades to art, are described. His exhibition, Evolving in 360, is one that tells of societal issues, and for the artist, any object is used to narrate the story. Art Review tonight celebrates Raki, Bashar and his message.
From the moment a child is born, he or she is exposed to an environment that holds prospects for artistic creativity to last a lifetime. And this can be said about the artists whose works are on display here.
Last year I had Evolving Through Waste. This year I have Evolving in 360. I know people question Evolving 360. What is that supposed to mean? It all depends on who's looking at the work.
The exhibition features works from a man who has dedicated over 3 decades of his time to art. And this artistic journey is celebrated as the artist celebrates 60.
You see that you look at it in terms of the kind of materials that I've worked with, which is very, very diverse. Or you want to look at it in terms of the forms that I've worked with. I have some works in the round, which could easily lead people to say 360. I have works that are also relief works on the walls. I have works that are design art, which are not pure art. And if you look at most of the works, I have this element repeating itself in the works. The circle, 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 circle thing. Some people will look at it and say probably it's talking about the circle. I think it's a body of work. It's all embracing, whichever way you look at it.
Raki Bashar effortlessly blends different items to create masterpieces.
A lot of times I work on 2, 3, 4, 5 works at the same time. So I really cannot pin it down specifically that this is how long it took me to do this work or how long it took me to do that work. But other than that, I don't think about time factor. I just think about realizing, what I have, at the back of my mind.
From the flowery or fan blade shaped pieces in stainless steel and brass, wood designs to can openers, all 31 artworks are connected to societal issues. Art is a lifelong process, and for those who are fortunate to connect with creativity at some point, their purpose is to churn out works that will help others understand the art of styles and techniques, which will build self-confidence in those who wish to embark on a similar voyage to explore what art has in store.
Sports News now. Head coach of Nigeria's under-17 team, Emmanuel Amunike, has praised his players for their performance in Saturday's 2-0 win over the USA in their opening game of the 2015 FIFA Under-17 World Cup in Chile. He said the display showed the players believe in themselves and were careful not to make any mistakes. The Golden Eaglets struggled in the first half but came out brimming with confidence in the second, with Chukwudiago and Victor Osimhen scoring for Nigeria. Host nation Chile is the cup holders' next opponent. The match will be played on Tuesday by 12 midnight Nigerian time. The Super Eagles of Nigeria will face Swaziland for a spot in the group phase of the 2018 FIFA World Cup African qualifying race. The Isilango defeated Djibouti 2-1 in Lubamba over the weekend to conclude an 8-1 aggregate triumph over the East Africans and earn the right to face 5-time World Cup finalists Nigeria in a 2-leg qualifier in November. Nigeria's Super Eagles drew by in the first round and will fly into Lubamba in the first week of November for the first leg. The Super Eagles have featured at the World Cup 5 times and have reached the round of 16 3 times. FIFA Reform Committee Chairman Francois Carrad says he would present concrete recommendations to FIFA's Executive Committee on Tuesday following the conclusion of its meeting in Bern, Switzerland. The world's football governing body is facing unprecedented pressure to reform its governance structure following the May indictment by U.S. authorities of 9 current and former football officials on bribery-related charges. The crisis escalated further on December 8th when both FIFA President Sepp Blatter and UEFA President Michel Platini were banned for 90 days by FIFA's Ethics Committee pending a full investigation. Karat's committee was set up by the Executive Committee and consists of 2 representatives of each of the continental federations. On to tennis now. Novak Djokovic continued his dominance of men's tennis by winning the Shanghai Masters title today in straight sets. It proved all too easy once again for the Serbian brushing aside Frenchman Jo-Wilfried Tsonga 6-1, 6-4 to claim his 3rd Shanghai Masters and 9th title of the year. Tsonga had shown his serving prowess in taking out Rafa Nadal in 3 tight sets in the semi-finals, but against the imperious returning skills of Djokovic, he had no answers. It was the 2nd straight tournament Djokovic had won without dropping a set after he landed his 6th China Open title in Beijing last week. A controversial last gap penalty by Bernard Foley has earned Australia a 35-34 victory against Scotland at Twickenham earlier today, sending the Wallabies into a World Cup semi-final against Argentina. Scotland had been on the verge of a stunning upset with 79 minutes on the clock, but South African referee Craig Joubert awarded Australia a penalty for offside, despite the ball appearing to come off a Wallaby shirt. Amid a cacophony of boos, fly-half Foley kept his composure to split the posts and ensure the World Cup would have 4 Southern Hemisphere semi-finalists for the first time. New Zealand and South Africa will meet in the other semi-final, both games back at Twickenham next weekend. The Slovenian Interior Minister has announced it will only allow through its borders a limited number of migrants. According to the ministry's secretary, the country will only allow in a maximum of 2,500 migrants, as against the 5,000 being accepted by neighbour Croatia, as it cannot meet the requests. Following Hungary's closure of its border, Slovenia and Croatia have had to deal with a backlog of migrants seeking to reach other parts of Europe. There are reported to be 4,000 migrants waiting at a reception centre in the East Croatian town of Opatovac, hoping for an onward journey towards Slovenia. Many of them have already spent weeks walking from Turkey through Greece, Macedonia and Serbia. Thousands of people have been displaced in the Philippines following Typhoon Koppu's landfall this morning. Trees have been toppled and power lines fallen. The vast weather has also triggered floods and landslides. More than 15,000 people have had to evacuate their homes, with more expected in the coming days. Flights and ferry services in the north have been cancelled and some bus services in mountain areas suspended due to the threat of landslides. President Benigno Aquino had warned of the severity of the typhoon on Friday. In a rare televised speech, he urged the estimated 6 million people in the typhoon's direct path to listen to government warnings and be ready to evacuate their homes if necessary. Pope Francis has canonized Louis and Marie Zélie Greng Martin, parents of the much venerated Saint Therese of Lisieux. Therese of Lisieux is widely venerated for the simplicity of her spiritual life, while her parents are seen as a fine example of a Christian family. A couple had 9 children, 4 of whom died in infancy. The remaining 5, all girls, became nuns. Therese was the youngest. She died of tuberculosis in 1897 at the age of 24, but was canonized in 1925. And the main news again. The People's Democratic Party has launched a verbal attack on the president's anti-corruption campaign, describing it as a one-sided affair. National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Olisametu, at a press conference, accused the president of targeting only PDP leaders. The presidency has dismissed the PDP's allegations of a witch hunt as untrue. Presidential spokesperson Mr. Femi Adesina, in a statement, challenged the party to deny the charges of corruption. And Typhoon Koppu has hammered the northern Philippines, flattening houses, trees and power lines, and triggered floods and landslides. That's News at 10 tonight. Thank you for watching. I am Amarachi Ubani. Good night.